Hey everybody, Texas Stroker here, Lance's Performance Shop, LoneStarMopars.com. It is Sunday afternoon, I'm still freezing. We've taken a look at some Stavilla stuff we've had on the back burner. Now this right here is something that we showcased in decent detail in the KC Tool Haul where we picked it up. The thing is, I feel like this needs a standalone video just so people know that it exists, and also if someone's searching for it, kind of wanting some information, see if it's a real deal, legit, something would suit them, or something they don't want to waste their time and money on. It's always better to have a standalone video. Also, I want to get this done so I can put this in my bag and have it with me. So this is brand new from Wiha. This is not actually one of their big deals, but it's on sale for $24.99, which is actually a pretty legit price when you consider everything that's in here. And we will certainly be taking a detailed look at that. You can get this from Wiha direct. You can get it from KC Tool, probably other distributors and retailers as well. But it is a 32-piece set. It is an Impact Pocket Go box. This is a steel case, believe it or not. There is a 72-tooth ratchet, which is pretty insane. 1/4-inch impact bits, a 1/4-inch quick release bit holder as well, which I believe that is roughly around $9 to $15, depending on what price point you catch it on. Considering that you're getting the bits, a case, and a bit ratchet for $24.99, you kind of start to see the intrinsic value of this thing. So there are 26 impact blue bits and 3 impact high-vis yellow bits. Now, I'm not sure if the blue and the yellow are brand new as well. I'm thinking they may be, because I never recollect seeing those as an offering. I have some of their impact bits, which have held up very well, but everything I have is Terminator, which kind of had like a, almost like an anodized red color, sort of. You know, take your classic wire terminal, right, your insulated ones, and just make it a cooler, deeper red, that sort of a thing. I think I have one handy I can show you here. But again, they are impact rated. What they claim is that they will last 25 times longer over standard bits. So that is, in effect, very very worthwhile if you are in fact someone that's using an impact all the time. So we're going to get a 1, 2, and 3 Phillips in the high-vis yellow, which you can actually see back there in the case. We're going to get a standard 1, 2, and 3 Phillips in the blue. Square drive, we'll have 1, 2, and 3 Posi, which, truth be told, I doubt I will ever use those. Who knows, that could change. But if that's a situation where you know you're never going to use the squares or the Posis, pull them, and you can actually have 6 slots available for a bit that you use frequently and might wear out. So you kind of can't go wrong with it, and then you still have those available should you ever come across an application where you need them. Hex inch, we've got 1/8, 9/64, 5/32, 3/16, 7/32, and 1/4, which is a pretty good selection. In metric, we got 3, 4, 5, and 6 millimeter. Torques, this has become an ever-increasingly big deal for me. And I'll tell you more as we unbox this. T10, 15, 20, 25, which that guy right there I certainly use quite a bit. T27, 30, and 40. Similarly, we get a 1/4 hex to a 1/4 square adapter, which that's going to be something we'll take an extended look at in this video. A 1/4-inch locking magnetic bit holder, and a 72-tooth reversible bit holding ratchet. Now, before I forget, everything is assembled and packaged in the USA. That's, you know, worth noting for some people. The bits themselves, 100% German, and the ratchet, Taiwan. So there you go. And before people get appalled by that, you get some really, really good quality ratchets out of Taiwan. I don't know why. I've got ancient Sunex stuff at work, and it's still really good even by today's standards. So, you know, just take that with a grain of salt, and remember, you're getting this for $25. So, and I would assume for most people the ratchet is kind of just a cool addition type of a thing, whereas, you know, the bits would be what they're interested in, and possibly even the case. I don't know. Something that I absolutely love, and what some of you might be like, whoa, what? You know, I've seen you open this up in the tool haul. Well, check it out. Wiha did blister packs the way they should be done. See these little recesses, the rectangular pads? I love that. Why can't all packaging be done like that? I mean, that's the way it really ought to be when you get right down to it. The fact that you have things that are absolute nightmares where you typically have to cut that out, you know, with a box cutter, and then come in and cut your hand 3 places. I hate that. I really do. So we're going to pull that thing off now. What's crazy about this is really just how small it is. Now you got to realize I've got fairly big hands compared to most people, so that might accentuate this a little bit, but look at that. I mean, this literally fits in the palm of my hand. It's pretty crazy. So what we'll do is we'll start by grabbing this little bit ratchet. Now again, this is made in Taiwan. I personally see nothing wrong with that, and this thing is tiny. Some people might knock that. You've got to realize this is a bit ratchet. It's not a 1/4-inch drive ratchet. This is not something that you're supposed to be freeing and loosening nuts and bolts. This is a bit driver. You want it to be small, you want it to be compact. That's when it's advantageous. If you need a square drive ratchet, go get one. This is a bit ratchet. Selector switch is very positive in the feel. You can also hear it. Something I like, kind of like what you saw in our Knee Pros video, this actually has a spinner on the top. So if you were in a really tight area where you can't just go to town with a ratchet, in a decent manner, if you just had the ability to kind of go like one click every time and then maybe have to pull off and put it back and do that again, you can go to town like this. Proof in the pudding right here. Keep your eye, if you will, on the hex holder, and you can see that it's turning. So that is a nice selling point as well. We'll take another look at that here in a second. The 72 Ultra Fine Tooth Ratchet. I don't really have fingernails. If I did, we'd have that out already. That's all that says. It's just kind of for advertising in the packaging. We'll get that out of there so it's not in our way. This thing right here, like I told you, I have one of these. I love it. I think I got it for around $10. Again, if I remember correctly, I've seen them roughly $9, $15, somewhere in that range. So if you consider this, even as, let's go the low end of the scale, $9, that means you're getting the ratchet, the box, and all the bits for $16. And if you've ever priced out the bits, you kind of know where you stand. This is a really, really good deal at the price point. So this thing, which I'm not sure what, I think we made a video on it, it was probably in one of the tool hauls, but essentially you load up a bit, and then when you want it out, you just come in and you pull this down and it sort of ejects it. Not violently. Some people like that, some people don't, but it is really, really nice in my opinion. So the way this is set up, it's kind of broken down. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then 6, is that the same way here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 and 6. I don't know if it was supposed to be that way. I don't know if mine came free. I'm assuming it was designed that way. There's a very solid foam pad here. What that's going to do is keep these in place side to side. Also, if you have the ratchet or that in place, it's going to give them leniency. And then when you've got this shut, it's going to keep everything in place. We'll exhibit that later. So, back row here, we've got our posies, I believe, right? And then we've got our squares, 1, 2, and 3. Some of our hexes. Are these labeled so we know what they are? Dude, I didn't check this out in the video, the KC tool haul one we made on it. And come on, there we go, found the sweet spot. Wiha 530 seconds. How cool is that? And you can also kind of get a feel for how that collar is with the blue. So each one of these is labeled. So right there is going to be our 9/64. That's awesome. Need to keep my hand kind of in the same spot. So let's come in. I know what this is going to be, but I want to find it on the stamping. Or do they not stamp the squares? Oh, they did. Look at that. That's our number 3 square. Sweet. And then right here, let's see how they handled this one. PZ3, that's going to be your number 3 posi. That's very cool. I was unaware that they actually had each of these labeled, so presumably when we come up here, this is going to be our biggest hex, which should be, if I'm looking at the selection chart over here to the side, 1/4 inch. Let's see if we can find that. We sure can. I mean, you can see that, right? We'll just take my word for it if you can't. And then this high-vis yellow, kind of interesting. Let's come in and grab the number 2 Phillips, make sure it is labeled. PH2, as you can see there, very swanky. This, of course, is probably, for most people, going to be one of the most commonly used bits, at least here in America. So, there they are, though. And again, the yellow does stick out, so does the blue. It's just the issue is everything is blue outside of those three, so of course they're going to jump out of the screen at you. Coming in right here, which one would it be? This guy? Nope, that's the 27. That's this one. This T25 Torx, man. I'm using these things so much, it's ridiculous, and that's one of the reasons. I think I'm actually going to buy one of these and just have it at work, and then I can have this one at home. But essentially, at work, we have a supplier, 2 of them now, and for years, anytime I got something in by way of crate, many times it wasn't covered at all, which granted, you know, it's kind of a short run type of deal, but still, there's like nothing. Almost everyone else throws cardboard over it. It's not stapled, and then you just strap it. You run steel strap over the top. Some people literally just stretch wrap around the crate. I don't know why. I don't know if this is like a regional thing or something, but I've started getting in these crates, and they are secured with T25 fasteners. And the first time we got something in from this place, you know, I had no idea. I knew it was coming. I didn't know it was going to be secured with T25 fasteners. So what I had to do is go to the lathe, and you know those like fold-out hex key sets, right? I had to go find one, and we're lucky we had it. I think we only have it because like the really small sizes hold some of the inserts down on boring bars and stuff. So luckily there was a T25, and I had to go, and somebody had used an impact to drive all these, you know, excessively deep in many cases. And I had to use one of those fold-out things and literally turn it by hand. And that really sucked. And subsequently now, every time I know something's coming from this outfit, I bring my impact from home in a bag with my, this exact, where did I put that? With this, and then I bring my Felo Bit Set that has the T25 with it. It's just my life now. And if I had this, I could use the bit ratchet, but I mean, as deep as they drive some of these, it's just absurdity. But that is a huge selling point. And then right here, we've got our standard 1, 2, and 3 Phillips, not in the high vis. I assume it's the exact same tip. It's just a different collar around it. So let's grab these and kind of do a comparison. So we've got the Wiha branding, PH2. Let's just get them side by side. Yeah, that looks to be the same thing. Now, what's important to note here with these, regardless of the high visibility, is the fact that the material they use these, make these with is super, super high end. It's the best stuff you can use for bits, in my opinion. Right here, this is going to be an adapter, and what this is going to do is it's going to convert this bit ratchet, which, you know, case in point, let's come in and grab this high vis number 2. So I stick that in there, and this is now a very, very stubby screwdriver, essentially. 72 tooth in a bit ratchet is pretty cool too, by the way. Like, this doesn't have a very bad swing arc either. Like, the time that I click off and then would start applying, you know, leverage to the fastener, it's a pretty good one, and that's worth noting as well. But it's designed to hold 1/4-inch bits, right? So you come in, and this is just your standard 1/4-inch bit. Case in point, over here, I've got one of my favorites, the Wiha 3K series, right? I just love these handles, feel amazing. But it's a bit driver, you know, so you come in and boom, you've got high-vis bit, impact-rated bit in this, which is a little overkill, but hey, it is what it is. What I'm trying to get across is you're familiar with this as a bit driver. You know, you can put in whatever bit you want your screwdriver to be and go to town. That's what we do there. Now, the catch is, when you look at this, we've got the square drive end of a ratchet, but on this side, what adapts it to that bit ratchet, it's basically the back end, just like you would have on a standard bit driver. Now, I realize most of you know this. I'm including this information for people that might be, you know, unaware or kind of just getting into things. But we have now taken, and it's a shame that's as tall as it is. It would have been nice if that was recessed a little bit more. You know, like there's a bit extra material kind of from that parting line forward. If that could have been shortened, it would have been really good. But we have now turned our bit ratchet that could only spin bits into something that can accept 1/4-inch drive accessories, which in this case, we got one of our Wera Cyclops sockets. We're going to come in. I have now created a way to use the bit driver with quarter drive sockets, which is a phenomenal capability. And the reason that this is all important, that you've got versatility with the bit driver, is the many times you can use this and nothing else. I've given this example in a couple of other videos, but the rake on the back glass in an old Mopar, particularly like 6870B bodies, right? It's pretty crazy. And if you've got package tray speakers, I'm talking aftermarket up on the top deck, it's a nightmare. What I did that I thought was really cool as a 14-year-old, I took my bits, you know, which I had from a Craftsman screwdriver, and I came in with a wrench and I broke them free and then was able to spin them that way, right? And at the time, I didn't have stubbies that were small enough. For example, I brought in this Felo because it was the smallest stubby I could find. And it's a very short shaft there. The catch is you still have to have space for the handle end, right? It spins really good, but none of that means anything if the back glass is raked like this. The screwdriver stops here and the fastener is back there. You're kind of up a creek, and the stubby has become rendered useless. Well, for 14-year-old me, you know, this was a really cool solution, and it's what I had. You know, it's what I could make work. Bit driver, not an option. It would be way too long. What I've come in and brought in, it was first Felo, and then I brought in these Wiha ones. These offset screwdrivers are phenomenal for that. Now, the catch is, if we were to put in this number 2 bit, look at that. Look at the difference between this. You're barely giving up anything between these two, and this is going to get the job done way faster, significantly faster. I've got the camera light flashing at me, so I'm going to try to wrap this up before the battery dies. This, for 25 bucks, is a phenomenal deal. The fact that you're getting a 72 tooth bit ratchet with this extension, which is typically around 10 bucks, and keep in mind you can equip it in this manner and then go to town with your sockets, so you can outfit this however you would like to. You can get a lot of versatility from this ratchet, is what I'm trying to emphasize. But for $25, it's a crazy good deal. To showcase how this works, pull that, it releases, you're home free. But LoneStarMopars.com is the website. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, find me on Instagram, whatever you need to do. I'm going to position that like so. Secure. I love it. $25, you can't go wrong. I'm going to try to add this in if it will let me. This is what I have to bring to work, right? My little rigid case here. And I've been using this Felo box, which I actually really like. It's got the T25 in it. It's the one that gets the most use. And then down here in the bottom of the bag, I actually have, just so you know I'm being honest, the exact same accessory. This, of course, the red one is going to be the Terminator. But I love this thing. I've used it. I've had zero issues with it. Same with the Terminator. But case in point, this bad boy right here that I take to work to take crates apart now, which I never thought I would have to do. I can drop in the extension, I can drop in the bits, and this, ladies and gentlemen, will now be going into my bag with my rigid bit driver, or impacts, I should say. Drill driver combo, I just take them both with me, but somehow we got it in before the batteries died. So the good news is I can leave this back at home, and I will take this guy, have it in there, and I do believe I'm going to purchase one to have standalone, and then I can have it here at the house as well. So $25, ridiculous value when you consider a 72 tooth bit ratchet with an adapter. You can extend it out, make it just as functional as, say, Stavilla one. Where is it? Somewhere right here. It's so freaking small. It's to give you an idea. Again, this is all just kind of bonus content till the batteries die. Look at that. This is a standard size ratchet. This is not excessively small. Quarter drive ratchets are just this size because you don't need that much leverage with them. The ability for this kit to adapt the bit driver to function like that and to be 72 tooth and that capable with all these bits, this is really a no-brainer. I would highly recommend you bring this in for yourself, particularly while it is on sale at the introductory price. It's brand new stuff. And again, I think the bits might be new too, because everything previously was sort of the Terminator style that I had seen. And based on my experience with the Terminator bits, these should be just as good. So for what it's worth, this is significantly smaller than the Felo box I had been carrying around. Now this one would be higher visibility, ironically, just based on the color scheme, but this is going to go in my bag. I'm going to have it with me. I'm going to have a really nice bit selection now. And also the Ratchet, because there are times I found where they've just sunk the frickin' fastener down so deep I was unable to get to it, so the bit ratchet might actually come in handy for those applications. But that said, I'm kind of pushing my luck with this battery. I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you're intrigued by this. I hope that you can see the value in it. I've given you a very limited application range, but if you're like me and you've ever had to turn T25 fasteners by hand with a fold-out key card, this is a lifesaver. And of course, pair it with your Impact and you're home free. So one more thing, I'm going to try to do a direct comparison between the Terminator and these if the camera allows it. All right, we're somehow still in existence here. So I'm going to grab this one now. The Terminator is a little bit taller, but they are both labeled Wiha. This one does not have the size stamped on it. This one does. These are kind of intended to be bought in bulk, the Terminators. But the tips is what I was really wanting to showcase. They look to be exactly the same, I would say. And that's good news, because this, even though it doesn't look like it's been used much, has gotten a lot of use and it still looks brand new. So I think I've crammed in everything I can. We're really pushing our luck with this battery light flashing at me. Let me know your thoughts on this. If you've already picked it up, what are you using it for? Do you have it around the shop? Is it in your truck? Is it in your tool bag? Let me know what uses you put it through. But again, it's brand new from Wiha, 25 bucks. I don't see how you can go wrong with it. That said, I'm freezing. The battery should be killing off any time here. And I will catch you back here for more action from the shop.